Health HIV, National HIV E-Learning Center. This video was made possible by Cooperative Agreement PS 19-1904 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Its contents are solely the responsibility of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC. Next graphic. If you are sexually active, there are a number of ways to prevent STIs. Please talk to your healthcare provider for more information or if you have any questions. Graphic. This video contains adult content. Next, a montage of scenes featuring couples. Brown-haired Jasmine, she, her, and brown-haired Paul, he, him, talk and kiss. A photo shows Paul and black-haired Teresa, she, her, gazing at each other, her hand on his chest. In other scenes, Teresa and dark-haired Emory, they, them, kiss each other and laugh together. In a photo, Emory has his arm around Teresa. Other scenes feature brown-haired, bearded Reuben, he, him, laughing and talking with dark-haired, mustached Christian, he, him. A photo shows Reuben with both arms around Christian. In another scene, short-haired, bearded Tim, he, him, opens the door for Reuben and they kiss. A graphic appears with an abstract drawing of two arms, one orange, one blue, forming a heart-shaped embrace. Safe in the City, an HIV and STI prevention intervention. Now at night, Jasmine and Paul enter Paul's house and stand facing each other in the foyer.
You have a good time tonight?
I have a good time with you every time we go out.
Can I convince you to stay over?
She turns as he slips off her jacket.
You can try.
She smiles at him.
This is becoming a bit of a habit.
A bad habit?
I don't think so, but you could be trouble.
What kind of trouble?
A good kind, I hope.
He puts his hands on her hips. She rests her hands on his shoulders. They kiss. Stepping back, Jasmine takes Paul's hand and leads him to the living room. Elsewhere, Jasmine, she, her.
Paul and I have known each other for a little while now. I know he's into me just as much as I'm into him. We've been talking about having sex, and I want to be sure to use condoms, but I know Paul would like it if we didn't.
Jasmine and Paul kiss on the sofa. Paul rests his hand on her knee. Jasmine places her hand on Paul's shoulder and neck.
What about,
Paul kisses Jasmine on the lips.
going further tonight?
Smiling, she glances away, then looks at him.
Do you have a condom?
No, it doesn't feel the same with those things.
He kisses her.
I want to feel you for real.
She leans back as he moves to kiss her again.
I want to feel you too.
Come on, Jazz. You don't have to worry about me.
Paul, I'm not worried. I just want to be careful for both of us.
They kiss. Paul, he, him.
It used to be, if a girl didn't make a big deal about using a condom, neither did I.
They kiss more deeply.
I like Jasmine a lot. She says she wants to use them, and I know she's probably right. She claims it'll feel the same, but I don't think that's true.
Jasmine pulls away, then smiles and shakes her head.
I'm not sure I'm ready yet. Can we just keep doing this tonight?
Paul nods. They embrace and kiss again. Now daytime. Paul sits alone and reads on his living room sofa. He picks up his smartphone and reads the text from Teresa. "What you doing?" He replies, "That depends." Teresa texts, "Come over." Paul replies, "On my way." He puts his phone in his pants pocket, sets the book aside, then takes a condom from a small box on his coffee table and leaves. Paul has a flashback to being in Teresa's bed. They kiss and touch each other. Teresa smiles at him. Elsewhere, Paul sits facing the camera.
Teresa, we went out 3 months. Never got too serious. But we had a good time. After I met Jasmine, things just kind of fell off until I got her text.
Jasmine and Paul.
I was not expecting the ending.
Okay, the ending was wild.
A literal cliffhanger.
In the kitchen, Jasmine slices a red pepper.
Let's get back.
She steps to the stove and adds the peppers to a pan of ingredients. Paul picks up his phone and reads a text from Teresa. Hey. Paul glances at Jasmine, who's busy cooking. Paul replies to Teresa. Yeah? Stirring the ingredients, Jasmine looks over at Paul, who holds his phone. Jasmine smiles and returns to cooking. Teresa texts Paul. We need to talk. Paul furrows his brow, then texts back. What's up? Sitting alone at her dining room table, Teresa replies, Look, I don't know how to tell you this, but I just got back from the clinic and, well, I have something. Paul replies, What's something? Teresa pauses to think, then texts back. An STI. Chlamydia. Paul replies, You serious? Why are you telling me? We used condoms. Jasmine steps over to the counter and smiles at Paul as she picks up a cucumber, then returns to the stove. Teresa furrows her brow and shakes her head. She texts Paul, Yeah, for part of the time, remember? We started without one. While Paul reads the text, Teresa lowers her phone and shakes her head. Paul nods his head as he reads. She texts Paul, You didn't put it on until the end. Paul replies, Yeah, I remember. So does this mean I've got something too? Teresa texts back, I don't know. Maybe. The people at the clinic told me that sometimes you can't always tell if you have something. She shakes her head as she texts again. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you. Paul and Jasmine exchange smiles. Jasmine continues cooking. Teresa texts Paul, You should stop by the clinic and get tested. I don't know what else to say. Paul replies, "'Kay." He pauses and texts again. I'm glad you let me know. Jasmine approaches with a spoonful of pasta sauce.
So, I think you're really gonna like this.
Paul tastes the sauce.
That's good.
Who's that?
A friend.
Meanwhile, Teresa puts her phone on the table and rubs her forehead. Later, Paul sits in the clinic waiting area. Shaking his head, he closes his eyes and remembers being intimate with Teresa in her bed, taking his shirt off as they kiss. Opening his eyes, he shakes his head again. Next, Paul sits in an exam room with a doctor, a blonde woman in a wheelchair.
So I just put in a prescription for some antibiotics, and you'll need to take those until they're gone. If you have a partner, they'll need to get a prescription too. You should refrain from sexual activity until your medication is gone. Otherwise, you can transmit the infection or get infected again.
Okay, thank you.
Now, even though your rapid HIV test today was negative, have you thought about getting on PrEP?
PrEP?
Yes, have you heard of it?
No, should I have?
Well, PrEP is short for pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a medication taken to prevent getting HIV. So if you're in a situation where you forget a condom, the condom breaks, or you don't know your partner's status, you have an added layer of protection. There's also a medication you can take after a possible exposure to HIV. It's called PEP, which is short for post-exposure prophylaxis. And you take it within 72 hours of an exposure. So PrEP is great for anyone who doesn't consistently use condoms or other barriers, or if you're unaware of your partner's status, PrEP protects against HIV, but not other STIs. And PEP really is for emergency situations.
Oh, well, I don't plan on this happening again.
No one does, but these things happen sometimes. So we want to make sure you're informed and prepared. Keep this information and think about whether it's right for you. If you have any additional questions, you can go online to cdc.gov. And if you decide PrEP is right for you, I can get you on it right away.
Okay, thank you. I just need some more time to think about it.
Help yourself to some condoms and lube on your way out. And don't forget to finish your meds.
Paul smiles.
Thank you.
Later, he brings bowls of popcorn in the living room where Jasmine sits on the sofa.
I got us some popcorn.
He sets the bowls on the coffee table.
Thank you.
He sits beside Jasmine.
You look so pretty tonight.
I'm having a really good time.
They hold hands.
Can I kiss you?
She nods. Paul moves closer and they kiss. Paul leans back. Jasmine smiles.
That was nice.
I try.
You should try again.
He kisses her again, then leans back as Jasmine moves closer. They stand and walk hand in hand to the bedroom. Next, Jasmine stands at the foot of the bed while Paul lies on the bed and gazes at her.
Girl, you better stop teasing me.
You want me to join you? Well, what are you gonna do for me?
Jasmine rests one knee on the bed.
I've got a couple of things in mind.
You're gonna have to be a little more specific than that.
He sits up and picks up a condom.
It says ultra sensitive.
Just like the man.
Ooh.
Jasmine sits facing him on the bed.
So, you decided you like condoms?
I decided I like you.
Jasmine smiles.
Paul, I've been thinking, and I mean, it feels to me like things are getting a little more serious. And I'm not talking strollers or diapers or anything like that. But I'd like to be exclusive with you.
I feel the same way about you. Look, I went to the clinic the other day to get checked out.
And?
They gave me some pills.
For what?
They said I had chlamydia, but I've never had any symptoms.
So you're done taking them?
No, I have a couple of days left, but
He holds up the condom.
I'm glad you told me, and I appreciate that you went and got checked out.
look, I've never been in a situation like this before. But there was this girl that I was seeing, and we didn't use a condom the whole time.
Jasmine looks down, then looks at Paul and smiles slightly.
Okay. Well, I think we should wait till you're done with the meds. We can cuddle instead.
Later, Paul sits alone.
I was happy the pills they gave me worked for what I had, but it was hard to tell Jasmine. I had to, though. I was worried she was going to be disappointed and she was going to end it. I was straight with Jasmine about the chlamydia, and my doctor got me thinking about getting on PrEP. I'm a little worried about my risk for HIV since I don't always use condoms with every partner. Jasmine knows I want to be responsible with my health, and she wants to use condoms, which I think is a pretty good idea too. She's considering asking her doctor about PrEP too because she wants to be in control of her health.
1 week later, on the bed, Jasmine straddles Paul as they make out.
You're just mad that you lost.
Laughing, she rolls over onto her side and faces Paul. They kiss. Paul turns and grabs a condom from the nightstand.
Aha! It's ribbed.
Jasmine pulls a packet of lube from her shirt.
And personal lubricant?
For our pleasure.
Paul puts the condom on the nightstand, then gets on top of Jasmine. They kiss again. Next, in animation, a display of condom packages and condoms of different sizes and textures.
Condoms. There is a condom for everyone, and there is a condom for every body. There are different condoms for different body parts, and condoms that work best while doing certain activities. They even come in various sizes and materials. Allergic to latex? Try a non-latex condom. An internal condom, sometimes called a female condom, is for all genders and goes inside the body. It can be used in the vagina for vaginal sex, or inserted through the anus and into the rectum for anal sex.
A diagram of the female reproductive system. In animation, an internal condom is inserted into the vagina through the labia up to the cervix. In another diagram, the internal condom is inserted through the anus into the rectum.
The effectiveness of external and internal condoms can vary if not used correctly. That's why it's a good idea to consider using another form of birth control to help prevent unplanned pregnancies.
Animated drawings of a blister pack of oral contraception pills, a hypodermic contraceptive injection needle, a square contraceptive patch, a T-shaped IUD, and a circular hormonal ring.
Is there a condom for everyone? You bet.
Now, Reuben and Emory cross the street.
Hi, Teresa.
Reuben waves at Teresa, who runs over to them. Reuben and Teresa kiss on the cheek, then smile and kiss again.
You know Emory, right?
Yeah. Hi again.
Hi.
Emory and Teresa exchange smiles.
I'm gonna get some coffee. You wanna join us?
I would if I could, but I gotta catch the blue line.
I see how you are.
But text me later and we'll catch up, eh?
All right.
Reuben and Teresa kiss on the cheek again. Teresa turns to Emory.
It was really nice to see you again, Emory.
Yeah, really great to see you too.
They stand and smile at each other awkwardly, then wave.
Bye.
Bye.
Teresa walks off. Emory steps over to Reuben.
So, what's with you two?
Teresa?
Teresa, who do you think I mean?
She's got a boyfriend.
Oh no, that's off. It was never serious. It was just some random. But you two?
You think I should ask her out?
I don't know. Just seeing the way she looks at you.
Emory smiles and rolls their eyes. Elsewhere, Teresa, she, her, sits alone.
Emory. I'd seen them around. I was into them, and I like the idea that they may be into me too. I didn't know what their story was, but I was curious. And then they asked me out after I ran into them on the street that day. The whole clinic experience was a wake-up call though, and I was still taking things slow for a while. But I was comfortable with Emory. I like them a lot. So after our date, I agreed to go check out their new apartment.
Now, Teresa follows Emory into their apartment.
That's a lot of boxes.
Yeah, I moved in a couple weeks ago, but haven't really unpacked yet.
They walk to the sofa, sit, and turn to each other.
Well, I hope you plan to stay for a while because I'm getting used to having you around.
I really like seeing you.
Oh, I know. You text me every day.
No, that obvious, huh? Can I kiss you?
Teresa leans in and they kiss. Elsewhere, Teresa.
I really didn't expect to end up back at their place. I didn't think I'd find them so simpátique. And it's never really been easy for me to bring up safer sex. But I wanted to be upfront with them, okay? I wanted them to know that I cared about their boundaries and their sexual health needs, just as much as I cared about my own.
In their apartment, Emory moves closer to Teresa as they kiss. Teresa stops Emory.
Hold on, before this goes any further, I've been meaning to talk to you.
Yes?
Have you been tested recently?
You mean for STIs? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I have been wanting to talk to you about that too.
Okay. Wow, I am so glad you said that.
I usually get tested pretty regularly, but with the move and everything, I haven't been tested in a few months, so it's probably about time to get tested again. What do you think about going together?
You mean like a date?
I mean, sure, why not? Nothing sexier than safer sex, right?
Okay, I'm down. But in the meantime, let's use a dental dam, okay?
I think I might have one.
Emory stands, steps past her, then turns, leans forward, and kisses her on the forehead. Emory walks over to a cardboard box and opens it. They take out several items, including a small wooden box and scissors, which they carry back to the sofa. They sit down and place the box on the coffee table.
Couldn't find a dam, but I have a condom, and we can make one.
What do you mean make one?
They take a condom out of the box.
All right, you're gonna have to show me how this all works.
So, first you open the condom from the top of the wrapper, like this. Then once it's open, just cut off the tip.
Emory cuts the reservoir tip off of the condom.
And then you're gonna cut lengthwise down one side, like this.
Cutting from the center of the condom, Emory snips the base.
That's it. We have a dam.
Emory unrolls the condom.
And when we're ready, we can make a new one.
Emory holds the rectangular dam with both hands. Teresa leans forward to kiss Emory.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Oh no, what?
The lube.
Oh.
Emory takes a small packet of lube out of the wooden box.
And I'm so glad I got up the courage to ask them.
In animation, a person handles a single condom package, then handles the condom.
You can use a condom for all types of activities. Just make sure to use a new condom for every activity and anytime you switch to a new location on the body. To use an external condom, first feel the package to ensure there is an air bubble, and then open the package carefully.
The person tears off the top edge of the wrapper.
Then, squeeze the tip to leave room at the end and unroll it all the way down before you start.
The person squeezes the reservoir tip of the condom with one hand and unrolls the condom down with the other.
When using condoms, consider adding lube, even if the condom comes pre-lubricated.
An array of bottles and a packet of lube.
Lube reduces risk by reducing friction, which can cause irritation, tiny cuts and tears inside the body, or a condom to break. The good news is that lube also increases pleasure. Water and silicone-based lubricants work for all condom types, but stay clear of products like body lotions, oils, or petroleum jellies, because they can cause a condom to break or even cause infections.
Bottles of lotion, oil, and a jar of petroleum jelly drop into a trash can. In animation, the person pulls the used condom off and holds it up by the opening, with the reservoir tip facing down. The person twists the middle of the condom into a knot, then drops it in a trash can.
When you're ready to switch to a new body part, or when you're done, hold the rim of the condom and remove it carefully. Dispose of the condom in a trash can and never flush a condom in the toilet. There is a condom for everyone, and there is a condom for every body. Internal and external condoms can reduce your risk of contracting STIs, and they can also help prevent pregnancy.
In animation, an internal and external condom ward off the spherical-shaped chlamydia bacteria, the coffee bean-shaped gonorrhea bacteria, and the spiral-shaped syphilis bacteria.
Wondering where you can get internal and external condoms or lube?
A laptop.
There are lots of options, and some are even free. You can find condoms and lube online, at your local clinic or health department, in pharmacies, and in some stores. So make sure you always come prepared.
Sitting on his living room sofa, Reuben scrolls through photos of men on the Boner phone app.
No. No.
He stops on a photo of bearded Tim, 34, 7 miles away.
It's cute.
Reuben looks at photos of Tim showing off his muscular body.
Yes.
Reuben taps match, then messages Tim. Tim replies, "Hey Reuben, your profile shows that you're close. Wanna hang?" Reuben replies, "Yes." Reuben puts his phone in his pants pocket, then takes the lid off a bowl of single-packaged condoms. He starts to pick up a condom.
No, I bet he'd have some.
He leaves the condom and walks out. Later, he gets a ride to an apartment building. The car pulls up to a curb. Reuben gets out of the car and waves to the driver.
Thanks, man.
Reuben stands on the sidewalk and texts Tim. "I'm outside the building. Will you come get me?" Tim replies, "Coming down." Reuben walks to Tim's front door. Tim opens the door and smiles.
Reuben?
Yeah, you Tim.
Sure am. Come on in.
Reuben steps inside. Tim shuts the door. Reuben glances around the room, then turns to Tim, who pulls him close and kisses him.
Take your coat.
Reuben takes off his coat and scarf and hands them to Tim. Tim puts them on the coat rack. In the bedroom, Tim and Reuben kiss and caress each other as they stand by the bed. Next, they lie on the bed and kiss. Reuben smiles as he talks to Tim. After having sex, Reuben gets dressed, then leans over, kisses Tim goodbye, and leaves. Later, at home, Reuben hurries to the bathroom and winces as he urinates. Now, Reuben washes his hands, then looks at his reflection in the mirror. Elsewhere, Reuben, him, sits alone.
I really should have brought condoms with me when I hooked up with Tim a couple of weeks ago. We just got carried away and I completely forgot to ask if he had any.
In a flashback, Reuben and Tim make out on Tim's sofa.
Tim's profile said that he was a software developer. I always go for the smart ones. And I really liked the way he looked. But by the time I got to his apartment, I forgot to ask him about his STI status. And neither of us brought up using condoms. We just got caught up in the moment.
Reuben rinses his face at the bathroom sink. Elsewhere, Tim, him, sits alone.
Reuben and I had a really good time that night. But I started to get a little worried because I didn't know his status and we forgot to use a condom. So I went to the clinic a couple weeks later to get checked out. Reuben was so sexy, and I even had a condom too, but we just got carried away and didn't use it. Next time, I'm gonna make sure to talk about STI status and safer sex before hooking up. Have to take care of yourself, you know?
While Reuben stands at the sink, Christian steps out of the bathroom and leans against the bathroom doorframe.
You okay, handsome?
Yeah,
You gonna make me drag you back to bed?
I'll be right out.
Something wrong?
Reuben doesn't look at Christian.
Hey, Reuben, I asked you something.
No, I'm fine.
Well, you don't look fine. What's going on? Are you okay?
Reuben stares at the mirror. Christian steps closer to Reuben.
You know, you can tell me anything.
I know we have an open relationship and all, but this is different. How do I tell him I may have something?
Christian puts his hand on Reuben's shoulder. Reuben turns to him.
You know the guy I hooked up with a couple of weeks ago? Tim.
You mean the guy from the app?
Yeah. So, I never really asked him about his status.
That's okay. That's why I'm still on PrEP, just in case. You know, I talk with my providers every couple months about ways I can stay safe.
I know, but PrEP only works to prevent HIV. And we forgot to use a condom. And now it's really uncomfortable down there. I think I need to get checked out.
Well, you know how I feel about always using a condom, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. But I just wish you had told me sooner. Now we both need to get tested. Let me check if the walk-in clinic's open today.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't just come and talk to you in the first place.
I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered that much anyway, because we both couldn't have gotten tested right away. So now I just want to make sure we're both okay.
Reuben smiles and grabs his jacket as he follows Christian out of the apartment. Later, Christian and Reuben walk into the clinic and sit in the waiting room.
Man, that was embarrassing. Sitting there with Christian, I just felt so bad. I felt like I let him down.
Reuben?
We both tested positive for gonorrhea, even though he didn't have any symptoms. They said that's pretty common. They gave us a shot and some medication to take for it. The HIV test was negative for both of us, but they said that we should come back in 2 months to confirm the results.
Reuben takes free condoms from a jar.
Christian's on PrEP, so he isn't worried about HIV. I'm thinking about starting PrEP again too. Even though we plan to always use condoms, even once we finish with treatment, I think it will help me to worry a little less. And I'm working on my communication. I really want to make sure to talk about safer sex with all of my partners, because we're worth it.
Reuben smiles. Graphic. If you are sexually active, there are a number of ways to prevent STIs. Please talk to your healthcare provider for more information or if you have any questions. Graphic: Health HIV, National HIV E-Learning Center. This video was made possible by Cooperative Agreement PS 19-1904 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Its contents are solely the responsibility of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC.